St. Ignatius of Antioch is not considered a doctor of the Church, but one of a group of saints referred to as the Patristic Fathers. Well established in the second generation of Christianity, St. Ignatius of Antioch was such a contemporary of the apostles that not only was he a disciple of both Saints Peter and Paul, but according to one tradition, it is said that when Jesus took a child in his arms, the child was St. Ignatius of Antioch. He became one of the successors of St. Peter as Patriarch of Antioch, and very little is known about his life other than his writings after he was condemned for his belief in Jesus. On the journey to Rome, where he was to face execution, he wrote a series of 7 letters to the Romans, Ephesians, Trallians, Magnesians, Philadelphians, Smyrnians, and to a contemporary, St. Polycarp, in which he expressed various elements of the faith that show us how early the Christian faith developed to be the faith we still profess today. Teachings, doctrine, and other elements of the faith. Ignatius wrote various teachings on divine theology, on the Christian economy, his theology of the Church, on the primacy of the teaching of the Church, on the hierarchy, on the sacraments, particularly the Eucharist, declaring, "Let no one do anything pertaining to the Church apart from the bishop. Let that celebration of Eucharist which is held under the bishop or anyone to whom he has committed it be deemed valid." He also wrote, "Take care to partake of one Eucharist, for one is the flesh of our Lord Jesus Christ, and one the cup to unite us with his blood." And in his letter to the Smyrnians, St. Ignatius of Antioch was among the first in writing to refer to the Church as Catholic, writing, "Where the bishop is, there let the people be, just as where Jesus Christ is, there is the Catholic Church." He also wrote, "Christ raised a banner for all times for his saints and faithful followers, whether among Jews or Gentiles, that they might be united in a single body, that is his Church." Regarding our faith in Jesus Christ as the incarnate Son of God, who took on flesh and became human, Ignatius writes, both in his letter to the Trallians and to the Smyrnians, Christ was really born and ate and drank, was really persecuted by Pontius Pilate, and really crucified and died, and really rose from the dead. And he also preached upon the virtue and heroism of martyrdom, which he was to soon undergo himself. Ignatius would eventually arrive in Rome, where he was fed to the lions, according to tradition, in the Colosseum itself, during the reign of the Emperor Trajan. And it is said that when the lions hesitated to eat him, Ignatius taunted them, striking them in the face. So determined was he to bear witness to Christ with his own life. Ignatius of Antioch continues to be a teacher for us today, showing us how quickly the faith grew, how clearly the faith became to its early believers, and how eager the earliest of Christian followers of Christ were willing to give that last full measure of devotion in dying for that faith. Writing in his letter to the Romans, "Fire, cross, struggles with wild beasts, retching of bones, mangling of limbs, crunching of the whole body, cruel tortures of the devil. Let them come on me, provided only I make my way to Jesus. Him I seek who died for us. Him I love who rose again from the dead for us."